Alcohol, the mystery really, I was obsessed with it. I was done 2019 when I was told I was going to die. Even a few drinks a week's risky. I was a functional alcoholic for many, many years, but I wasn't functioning properly. We live in an alcoholic culture. We know that it's bad for us, but I never knew how bad it was until it declined so fast and realised it was a drug, a bad drug. Initially, it makes you feel good. It's like a miracle cure, isn't it? When you're shy and maybe a little bit socially inept, you have the cultural anxiety and all that sort of thing. You feel a bit of a buzz, don't you? And you feel like you belong. And this happened when I was young. When you have a drink, you suddenly feel, wow, this is good. But over the years, it'll just chip away at you, and it will make your life miserable. And every time I did something or said something that I actually regretted, it was always around drink, the bad decisions. I don't want to live a life anymore where I regret things. When you're sober and clear-headed, your life's so much better. I grew up in a culture when I was in central London where there was always drinks available. Pubs around, there was clubs, there was drinks in people's houses. And it's the same now. It's everywhere. It was a fun time of my life when I was young. You still feel rough in the morning, but you could get over that. I knew many people who used to say, God, I need a drink. I need a drink. And you sort of get swept away in this, don't you? And I got obsessed with it. And it took over my life. I didn't have any other hobbies, really, apart from drinking. I did try a couple of times to get off it, and it was too easy to go by the pub. I used to think it used to relax me, make me feel well, but it just takes over. You don't have control properly. And I did try a couple of times to come off it, but it didn't work when I was young. Because I thought, this is my life. I'm going to miss out. The fear of missing out was a massive thing for me. And this is why people relapse. And relapse to me is the killer, because when you relapse, you go back straight to square one again. And now I look back, when I tried to stop, I was really struggling to stay off it, even when I was younger. I started to think, wow, I need to get off the sober. I'll get back on the drink, because I was thinking I was missing out. This is one of my 20s, this was. And as the habit got worse, then my anxiety got worse, and the cycle of alcohol addiction became real, really. A lot of people do try this, and a lot of people go back. And the more you relapse, you're much, much worse off, to be honest. But now I've been sober 6 years. It's the best life I've ever had. To be sober, to be clear-headed, to be able to make rational decisions. There's no reason to drink. But in the past, there was always a reason to drink. It wasn't because I was stressed. It wasn't because I was happy or sad, good or bad. It was just a habit. But I knew quite early on, but my relationship was different, I think, in some ways to my peers, because I was always the one who was drinking fast. I was last to leave the pub. I was making excuses to people, especially my partner, my family. I used to come up north quite often and just go on a massive binge the weekend, start to feel ill, and then start to hide cans of beer in the garage at home. I mean, I did function at work, I was all right, but I still felt tired a little bit, and it catches up with you very quickly. And when I retired, I started to drink more. And then I felt totally alienated from my family, from my real friends, and just used to, feel terrible all the time, feel a lot of regret. But alcohol lies to us, It does. It's a mind-altering drug. That's what it is. It disrupts your brain activity. And you lose brain activity. Your brain cells die with the alcohol. Even a few drinks a week, like I said, cause issues. And the best time I've ever had in my life is when I've been sober. Because I don't think you ever see a happy alcoholic or a happy problem drinker, do you? It might seem that way initially, but it soon catches up. And very rarely do people live past 60 who've got an alcohol addiction, because it just will destroy your body and destroy your brain. you know. But the depression sets in as well, the feeling of self-doubt, the anxiety not being able to go on to public transport, go on holiday, do anything really. When you look back, when you started, you thought it was good because it gives you a lot of confidence initially. You have less inhibitions, and with me, it just became to the point where I was even forgetting what I was doing, forgetting who I was spoken to, forgetting what I did. And when you get to that stage, you've got to put the brakes up. I didn't. I did try, but it was very difficult. And I know a lot of people who stopped going about it, and died because it's a killer. But I had a very high tolerance when I was young, which I thought was good, but it isn't. It was a badge of honour. It's horrendous, and you become, like I said, obsessed with it, and it enhances my social. Well, it did enhance my social communication, in that I felt good. It made me the big man. I thought it was. I thought it was being clever. But when I got into the liver ward and I saw people dying around me, I knew I hadn't been clever, because we're all very similar people in there. And I've seen the damage it does to people. It did to me with liver damage. It's linked to a lot of cancers, linked to high blood pressure, strokes, heart attacks, accidents, suicides, a whole lot. There's nothing good about it. There's just zero benefits. You've got to ask yourself, why did you do it? It's a very progressive disease, alcoholism. It never gets any better. And the thing with it is, even when you're off the booze, as I've been for 6 years, then there's still no cure. It's just manageable. Because I know if I have a drink again, I'll be back on it. And I've done that 3 or 4 times now. And every time it gets worse. And you get the kindling effect, which I've spoken about before, it makes it even worse. It's a really bad drug. I would say 50% of murders occur where there's alcohol being around. It's massively involved in domestic abuse. It's involved in a lot of crime and public order. There's a lot of drinking involved in football matches. Supposed to the old days of the football match violence, there was always a lot of booze. They'd go and get tanked up and have a fight, and it still goes on now. It's just it's not as publicised as much. It's a bit more uncontrolled by the police. So all the bad things in society happen with alcohol. There's nothing good, yet we still celebrate and commiserate with alcohol, even though we know it's going to possibly kill people. It's going to cause a lot of social issues, and just dealing with every drink as I got older was more and more difficult. And the hangovers got worse, and then I started hair of the dog, and then you go into day drinking and all this sort of thing. So, you've got to pull it back a bit and realise how serious this is, because it's not a good thing at all. There's nothing good about it, and it will kill you away. It's as simple as that. So you have to be aware. I wasn't aware. I'm not a stupid guy. I wasn't aware, my family weren't aware that I could have seizures if I stopped. There's lots of things linked to alcohol, all bad. I hope you enjoy these videos, and if you do, please subscribe and share. I do lives as well. I just do a one-to-one mentoring course. All of this is in the links on the description. And I do some lives as well, probably do one tomorrow night. But I'll post when I'm going to do a live, do a quick little short and announce it. I've got a good crew on there. And if you want anything at all, drop me a comment. If you want to chat, drop me a comment. I'll give you all the links to the one-to-one service I do. I've also got an ebook out. The link's in there for that as well. I'll speak to you soon.